3.2 is all about reflecting graphs. So we're basically going to be pretending that we're reflecting them in a mirror, and either the y-axis or the x-axis is that mirror. So this question, for Get Started, they laid out 4 points, just nice and simple, and they've labeled them A, B, C, and D. And the first thing they want us to do is say, what are the coordinates for those points? Well, hopefully you remember that you use x, then y for your coordinate points. And we look at A, and A for x is -4, and for y it's 3. So I'm going to have -4 and 3 for A. B is right on the y-axis, so that means that x equals 0 for B, but y is 2, so I'm going to have 0 and 2 for those coordinates. C is right on the x-axis, so y is going to be 0, 0, but x is -2, so -2 and 0 for that point. And then for D, it's out here at -5 and over there at -4, so x is -5 and -4. Now the first thing it says to change is that we're supposed to reflect them in the x-axis. So that means if I'm looking at the x-axis, this is my mirror. So I'm going to flip them all over the x-axis. So for example, to choose an easy one to start with, B flipped over the x-axis ends up here. So for B, I'm going to write down the new point of, it's still 0 for x, but now it's -2 instead of originally being 2. So to kind of summarize what happened there, y switched signs. X was the same, y switched signs. Hopefully you can read that, it's pretty small. So I'm going to go to my C point now, and if I flip it over the x-axis, well, it's on the x-axis, so it doesn't actually change. I could just like say, look, that value is the same, because where's it going to go? It can't go up or down. It's right on the axis. So for C, I'm still going to have -2 and 0. So it stayed the same because it's on the x-axis. It doesn't matter if it switches. And then we look at A up here. It's going to switch to relatively the same position down here, just that so this is my A prime. I guess I should have labeled my B prime. C prime's the same, so whatever. And now A, the x stays the same as this one did, but the y used to be a +3, now it's a -3, so y switched signs as well. We can assume then that D will probably do the same thing, and we could even predict that D will stay at -5 and become +4, and when we look at the graph, it is indeed going to flip up here to become -5 and +4. So you can kind of see how that works. When it says reflected over the x-axis, you're actually going to be flipping the y value as to whether it's positive or negative. The x value is going to stay the same. The next part is you're supposed to do the same thing but reflected in the y-axis. These guys were all A prime, B prime, D prime, or C prime, whatever. These guys are prime prime. They use the double tags there. Not a really big deal, but just look out for it in your book. Okay, now going back to the original points, ignoring the blue ones, A was at -4 and 3, -4 and 3, and now we're flipping it over the y-axis. So it's going to be at 4 and 3. There's our A prime. So 4 and 3. So this time, y stayed the same, but x flipped. So we could say positive or negative, it switched signs. B is here, it's already on the y-axis, or sorry, b's up there. But b is on the y-axis, so b prime prime is going to be there as well. So b doesn't change position because it's already on the axis we're trying to switch it on. So it stays the same. We look at C. It's supposed to be switching over this way now, so it gets to move. Yay! C prime prime moves, and now the new point is 2 and 0, not negative 2 and 0. And for D, originally it was down here. It's still going to be down here, but it's going to be over in the positive 5 and 4. D prime prime over there, so 5 and negative 4. So for each one of these, you can see that y stayed the same, x changed values because you're flipping it over the y-axis. So if anything was in the positive in x, now it's in the negative. If it was in the negative, now it's in the positive. And if it's actually sitting right on the y-axis, then it doesn't go anywhere. It stays the same. It's kind of a pivot point.